Broadcasting from down on the Bayou, it's the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast, a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com. And now your hosts, Michael Leander and Patrick Fry.
And welcome to episode 71 of the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can check us out online, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, at the Average Marks. We are broadcasting live from the Collar and Elbow Studio. Product of the month, Patrick, the King's shirt. It's a yellow shirt. I love yellow. It's got a lion and a spider web looking thing, and it says Sport of Kings Pro Wrestling CXE. Really dope shirt. You got to go check it out.
Do they have those for women?
I think it's unisex. It's for both.
Okay, because personally, my favorite color on women is yellow. Really? I've always found when a woman wears, let me see it real quick. You gotta, is it like a bright yellow? Well, yellow's already somewhat of a bright color, but the color yellow on women, to me, has always just been, I don't know, I guess that color on women just grabs my attention, so that's why I was wondering, for all the women that might be listening out there, go buy you a collar and elbow shirt, take a picture in it, and send it to us if you feel like it, because I wouldn't mind seeing some women wear a nice yellow collar and elbow shirt, trying to get the collar and elbow name out there. It's already out there, but we're trying to help it out. So.
Yeah, and exactly, and it's on sale right now for $19.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was $24.99, and you can get 10% off that $19.99,
which is 90. Wait, hold on. Let me think. That's about $20. You save about what, 20 cents? No, $2.
No, $2.
My math is all messed up today. So you save $2 plus the $5 they already took off. So you save $7 right there on a nice T-shirt too. It's a very nice T-shirt. Collar and elbow. You rock collar and elbow almost on a daily basis.
You know it.
So great products there. And I just you said yellow, and I was like, I like women in yellow. So
black and yellow.
Absolutely.
Use our code at checkout. One word, the Average Marks, to get that 10% off your whole entire order at collarandelbowbrand.com. Could we see the young lady that came with you to the last wrestling event wearing this shirt May 18th?
Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen because for some reason she's not answering my messages. So
maybe she's dead.
No, she's not dead because she's seen them.
Oh, okay.
I messaged her on we were messaging on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can see when somebody sees your message on Facebook. I even sent her a Happy Easter message, and I got nothing back. So
Crickets.
I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately, because boy, it was she was nice.
Maybe you can reel her back in with a new show. Send her that poster.
What post? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Bryce Boudreaux poster.
Yeah, Bryce did a fantastic job on that Full Throttle Wrestling poster for the show on May the 18th. What's it called again?
Fool for the City.
What's it called?
Fool for the City.
Fool for the City. Okay. I thought you said like fool, like as in like
what up, fool?
Like after I'm done eating, I get full.
No.
It's fool, like FOOL.
Yeah.
Fool for the City. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting show.
Like B.A. Baracus calling Murdoch a fool.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You
have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I would love to take her, to another wrestling show because, we'll
send her that poster.
I was sort of into her. Well, I can't, I'm going to
buy her
send it
this
to
shirt.
her. I'll send it to her. She'll look at it and not reply. So
you don't know. She likes wrestling, dude. You reel her back in.
She does, and that's why I think I was into her so much. But oh well, we'll see. I think that ship has sailed. But
dude,
you never
if you
know.
buy her this shirt,
I got nothing to lose at this point. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna buy you this shirt, and I want you to wear just the shirt, just the shirt. Just try this shirt on, just the shirt for me, just real quick. See how that works.
Yeah.
See if that can reel her back in. But anyways, this is the Average Marks, episode number 71 for April the 28th, 2019. Today we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about a surprised return to pro wrestling, but it's not a return that anybody expected or whatnot. Not even a return I expected. We'll talk about that. A surprise return to pro wrestling in a way.
Was it a slight surprise?
It was a big. I mean, it was. It's hard to explain
that's like
the surprise, but that's the first thing we're going to talk about here in a minute after the rundown. So we'll talk all about it. Also, the Superstar Shakeup, the aftermath of that. We'll talk about that. Who went where? Who won? Raw or SmackDown? All that stuff involving the Superstar Shakeup. Also, a wrestler got a new gimmick. We're going to talk about this new gimmick everyone's talking about We'll talk about that. And then the latest match added to Double or Nothing that was revealed on the Road to Double or Nothing YouTube series. We'll talk about that as well. Also, a superstar request his release from the company, a big superstar, by the way, and also one of the women who's kind of walked out. We'll talk about her situation as well.
Is he really a big superstar, though?
In a way, he is, because if he goes anywhere else, he's going to be a big superstar, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that. And also, we have an interview with Kim Artlip. She's a wrestling promoter.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Kim Artlip coming up at the towards the end of the show. Average Marks, episode number 71 for April the 28th, 2019.
Right. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch at The Average Marks. Also, check us out on Patreon. We just redid our Patreon page. It's got intro videos. It's got thank you videos.
Yeah.
Also, we kind of revamped our tiers. So you got some pretty cool stuff for $3 a month. Not only are you helping support the show, but you can hear the show a day early.
Yeah.
$5 a month is just $2 more. Not only do you still get to hear the show early, but you get exclusive audio and video content on there. So you'll be able to watch the interview with Kim.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and we go all the way up to Muda Scale, which is $50 a month, and you get a free piece of merchandise every month from the Marks. Just go check it out, www.patreon.com, The Average Marks. It starts at $1 and goes from there. Whatever you can do, it would help us out tremendously, and it would keep this show going. If you love our content, we'd appreciate it. Big ups to Josh and Cruz, our two Patreons right now.
Yeah, that's right. Josh and Cruz coming in clutch.
Coming in clutch. All right, let's get into this thing.
All right, so, of course, talked about this big return, and my initial reaction to this, and, of course, we're talking about CM Punk. CM Punk, who we last saw in professional wrestling back in January of 2014 at the Royal Rumble, was his last appearance in pro wrestling. Since then, he's gone off.
Getting his face bashed in.
Yeah, pretty much got his face bashed in twice inside the Octagon and UFC.
He's made names out of two no-names.
Yes, but he now has apparently made a return to pro wrestling, but not the return that you may have expected. So I was on Facebook. This was this past weekend, the week we took off for Easter, and I came across a post, and it was like CM Punk returns to pro wrestling, and it was a video. They're in this little bingo hall. It was obviously an independent show.
Shout out to bingo halls. It
was MKE Wrestling, and it said CM Punk returns, and so I looked at it just to see, okay, what is this video? Obviously, this is, what they call a rib in the business. Yeah. They're ribbing us, or they're working us.
They're trolling you.
Yeah, they're trolling us. So, but I watched it just to, see what was going to happen. And two guys are wrestling in the ring, and then the camera pans over to these double doors kind of off to the side, and there's a guy waving someone in by the door, and next thing you know,
this fat-looking manager who probably sucks on the mic.
So, and next thing you know, this guy walks in. He's got a hoodie on. He's got the hood, and he's got a mask, so you can't see who it is. He runs into the ring and gives the GTS, go to sleep, to one of the guys in the ring.
Which he stole.
And runs out. And now, granted, the GTS, it didn't look very fluid. The guy didn't sell it very well, which made me think right there, there's no way this is CM Punk. I watched that, and I was like, on what earth?
That's why I questioned it, too. I was like, that was so clunky. That looked terrible.
I said, on what earth? Well, what planet was that, CM Punk? Like, yeah. I was like, there's no way. And as the days progressed, no one was denying that it was CM Punk. No one was saying, oh, that's no way. Like, more and more folks were coming out. It was like, they believed that was CM Punk. There was more evidence. Someone found a picture that CM Punk took earlier that day in the same city wearing the same exact hoodie. And it turns out no one has 100% confirmed it was CM Punk, but then again, no one has 100% denied it was CM Punk.
Now, I can't say I remember the name of the tweet that I saw, but somebody retweeted it, and it was a guy who wrestled there, and he was a former WWE guy, too. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he was always a jobber,
Yeah.
But he was there, and he said, essentially, my buddy Phil showed up today.
Yeah.
And you know what gets me about it? This indie wrestler who you were saying so eloquently, this totally botched the whole GTS. He didn't sell it well.
I mean, he sold it. He sold it.
Sucked.
I mean, it didn't look like the execution of the move from CM Punk and the guy he performed it on just didn't look very fluid altogether.
Yeah, it's like you didn't practice this thing in the back. You think if you're CM Punk, this is your signature move. You want to get it right.
Well, CM Punk probably has not hit the GTS now in over 5 years.
Oh, come on. I know he's been doing some of his boys at the parties or whatnot. They're like, GTS me, bro!
And I'm not trying to hate on independent wrestling, but let's face it, the guy that he hit it on is
no talent.
He's not a WWE superstar. He's not. I'm not saying he doesn't have any talent, but he's worked. There's a reason he was working at this MKE wrestling event. He's probably obviously not the best seller in the world.
He's going to skirt around the issue.
Hell, there's guys in WWE that can't sell worth a damn, and this guy tried. It looked like he tried to sell it, but he didn't do a good job of selling it.
You know what? If you're an indie guy and you're never going to make it to the bigs, because let's be honest, this guy's not going anywhere, right?
Probably
Can you say
not.
that?
I mean, probably not. No. You never say never in this business, but more than likely, no, he's not going anywhere.
Thank you. I'm thinking if I'm an indie guy and I'm never going anywhere, my claim to fame is going to tell Phil Brooks, look, let's do this as a shoot. Like, really give it to me. I don't care if you break my nose. That'd be my calling card for the rest of my life. I got my nose broke by CM Punk when I got GTS'd.
Yep. Now, a lot of folks are saying, oh, CM Punk's back in pro wrestling. Well, that's not exactly the case. The story that I read is that he came back and did a one-off and apparently, I don't know if one of his good buddies, I think the guy's name's Ace Long or something like that, one of his good buddies that kind of came up with CM Punk in the indie scene. Apparently, this building that this MKE wrestling event was being held at, this was going to be the last event in this particular venue because it was going to get torn down, whether it be next week or the next couple of weeks. It's getting torn down, and the reason why CM Punk came back and did this little run-in was to sort of pay his respects to the venue itself, because that is the venue where CM Punk also sort of got his start in professional wrestling. So CM Punk came back, did this little one-off thing to pay respects to the venue is basically the bottom line of this story. So that's really all there is to it. I think some folks are starting to get a little giddy, think maybe he's going to show up at Double or Nothing. I'm still not convinced that he's going to do anything in pro wrestling at all, at least as of right now. I don't think we're going to see CM Punk in pro wrestling anytime in the near future. So for all you marks out there that are going to think CM Punk's showing up at Double or Nothing, don't get your hopes up, because the story I read, he showed up. It was a one-off little thing. He was wearing a mask. Obviously, he didn't want people to know it was him. But then again, if he didn't really want people to know it was him, why did he do the GTS? Why didn't he do maybe another move? So I don't know what his logic of thinking was whenever he decided to put the mask on, hide his identity, but then do his finishing move to this guy. Because any big wrestling fan sees that move, they think, oh, that's the GTS. That's CM Punk's finishing move. Obviously, any big wrestling fan would recognize that anywhere in the world, or anybody that does it. Even if somebody else did it, that's the GTS. That's CM Punk's move. So it was a one-off. He did it to pay respects to the building that's going to get torn down here probably in the near future. Wasn't it Hideo Itami's move first, though? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know much about Hideo Itami's, or when he started doing that move. But he said CM Punk stole it. Well, you can say whatever he wants, but that's the thing. In the wrestling business, a lot of people steal stuff from other people. It is what it is. So, like Randy Orton, whenever they had the feud, when he has feud with AJ, he said he basically ripped off DDP's Diamond Cutter, with the RKO. That was a great line. Do you think anybody's ever going to steal the 5-knuckle shuffle? No. People steal the people's elbow all the time. The other day I seen a video Ricochet did like his own little version of the people's elbow. He did everything except when it came down to do the elbow, he did like a moonsault, like a standing moonsault on his opponent. So people steal, stuff all the time in professional wrestling. It's nothing new. Yeah. Also, CM Punk recently competed in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament in Chicago. Oh, yeah? Yeah, and he registered under his real name, Phil Brooks. He just got blue belt. Oh, wow. And so he fought other blue belts. 3 people were in his weight class, which is 199.9 pounds. Uh-huh. Without looking at this photo, of the 3 people, where do you think he ranked at the end? As far as what? Like, what medal did he get? Gold, silver, or brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Well, who are the other 2 guys? I mean, I don't really.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
I mean, I'll guess third.
Oh, well, you guessed right.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Out of 3 people, he got third.
Well,
this dude sucks at martial arts.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, as much as I'd like to see CM Punk back in pro wrestling, I would have liked to see him at least try to succeed in the UFC because I'm also a mixed martial arts fan. And a guy like CM Punk who has that name recognition from the wrestling fan base, which in my opinion, the wrestling fan base is probably just as big, if not bigger, than the UFC/MMA fan base. And if you had a guy like CM Punk that was going to, became successful in the MMA, then MMA would draw all these other wrestling fans every time CM Punk. Like when Conor McGregor kind of, shot off into stardom, all these, UFC, all these outside fans were like, well, I want to see what this Conor McGregor guy is all about. Same thing with CM Punk. If he would have been successful, they'd have said, well, you know what? Let's see what this CM Punk guy is all about. But we now know what he's all about. He's 0-2.
Yeah.
For all I know, he might be 2 and done now in the UFC. But I'm sure he's still.
There's no way if you're Dana White you book this guy again. No,
but
not even for like the pre-fight.
Yeah. So I don't know what CM Punk plans on doing. I would love to see him show up in AEW, although I just don't think that's going to happen. At least not anytime soon. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. He's got too much money. Why would he?
I don't know what AJ's doing these days either. I mean,
I know what she's doing.
What's she doing?
CM Punk.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, he's got a lot of money. He's got a hot girl. He's good.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not worried about anything.
He got paid to get lumped up
because I feel like in his mind, if he returns to pro wrestling, he's going to look stupid because he kind of was like, I'm done with wrestling. Like I'm not, but. And now if he shows up at Double or Nothing, or if he shows up for AEW down the line somewhere, oh, but I thought you weren't. You know how the marks are. They're gonna.
Yeah, he missed his chance at All In.
Yeah,
that would have been epic.
Yeah, because apparently he was at the press conference or some press conference before. I don't know.
Supposedly he was behind the scenes at the press conference, but he was at the Pro Wrestling Tea store, and apparently the line was like miles long.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. Absolutely. All right, so that's what's going on with CM Punk. I don't expect to see him in any other form of pro wrestling anytime soon.
Get your GTS right, Punk. That sucked.
Yeah. All right, next thing. Obviously, we had the Superstar Shakeup last week, and a lot of things to kind of take away from the Superstar Shakeup. A lot of folks are talking, did Raw win? Did SmackDown win? I don't know. It's a tough call because...
Tough call?
To me, it's a tough call.
You got to be kidding me.
It's a tough call. I would say top to bottom, I give it to SmackDown.
Yes.
But...
Hands down.
But Raw got AJ Styles, and Raw had Andrade, but then Andrade, Zelina, and Aleister Black have now been moved to SmackDown. And there's a lot of reports coming out as to why Andrade was moved back to SmackDown. Apparently, I've heard Fox wants more Latino superstars. Andrade is probably the best Latino superstar they have right now. So they put him back, but then now I'm seeing Wrestling Observer also said that apparently his relationship with Charlotte Flair had something to do with that as well. And then Aleister Black, of course, is married to Zelina Vega. And WWE, they're a family company. They're trying to keep the married couples together as best that they can, which is why the Usos and Naomi, they all went to Raw.
Well, according to Bryce Boudreaux, Flair and Andrade are acting like a married couple.
Well, there's rumors out there that they were engaged.
Really?
So, yeah, there was the rumors. Nobody's really confirmed it, but I don't know how long they've been dating.
Yeah.
Apparently since they were here in Lake Charles.
They've been keeping it on the down low.
Well, apparently since they've been here in Lake Charles, I think, because...
I told Bryce he should have broke that.
Yeah. Didn't Bryce... Because Bryce works at a hotel here in Lake Charles.
Yeah.
And when they were here in Lake Charles, he's seen them together at one of the hotels here in Lake Charles.
We could have had that story.
I know, right? But, whatever.
Whatever.
I mean...
we would have been stratosphere with that one. We had that story 3 days before it broke.
You're right, we did. But, it is what it is. Sometimes well, don't worry. One of these days, we're going to have a story to break, and we're going to...
Hopefully.
We're going to do it. But, so some other things to take out of the Superstar Shakeup... I'm trying to think. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe switch brands, which means the two mid-card titles switch brands. So now the United States title is on Raw, Intercontinental Championship is on SmackDown, which is interesting because now you have the IC title and the WWE title back on the same show for the first time, probably I think this is the first time since they initially did the split back in 2016 that the Intercontinental and the WWE titles are back on the same show together. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, with SmackDown going to Fox in October, you want your two most prestigious titles in the history of your company to be on the big, the big network on Fox. So
right, Triple H was saying in a report that they're reimagining SmackDown.
Yeah.
Essentially,
well, there's going to be a lot of big changes, I think, coming for SmackDown. Obviously, you go into Fox, the viewership should go up.
Oh, my God. They were saying in this report that the viewership is going to be almost double than what both shows are getting now combined.
Yeah, because obviously Fox, a lot more, households can catch Fox. Whether, you don't even have to have cable to have Fox. All you have to have is like an antenna and boom, you
Is
get
it going to
Fox.
be on, like, the big Fox?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be on Friday nights, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Friday night, so we'll see how that affects, because obviously Friday nights, to me, Elijah's over here like, are you doubting that? I mean, Friday nights, people are doing stuff on Friday nights, and especially like
not wrestling fans. They're going to be watching TV.
Well, see, like for me now, granted, like for me, SmackDown on a Tuesday is much easier to watch than SmackDown on a Friday because on Fridays, for the most part, I could watch it, but during football season, I'm booked on Fridays. I call high school football. So.
You got that DVR?
I do.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I got Hulu too, and I can just watch it on Hulu. So.
Yeah.
So there you go. But that's an interesting move to Friday nights. I'm curious to see, because I remember SmackDown used to be on Friday nights, and I found that it didn't do so well.
But it wasn't on like a terrible network.
It was on Sci-Fi or something like that. Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, we'll see. But so some other things coming out of the Superstar Shakeup. The SmackDown women's division all of a sudden is like stacked. You got Asuka. You got who else? You got Asuka and Kairi Sane are now a tag team. You got Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are now a tag team. Lacey Evans, I guess, is now officially on Raw, which was why I think Nikki Cross has been moved to SmackDown. Who else got moved to SmackDown? Charlotte Flair still on SmackDown. Becky Lynch is still on both shows. I'm trying to remember who else got moved to SmackDown.
Would you like me to pull up their website?
You can. But then on Raw...
I don't even want to talk about Raw. That big old forehead hit me right in the face right when I started looking at their roster.
And what forehead is that?
Alicia Fox.
Oh, yeah, Alicia Fox. They still have Alicia Fox on Raw. Right now, Raw is... The women's division on Raw, at least, is
Shayna Baszler looks like a man.
To me, it's like subpar, because now, like, the biggest... To me... your top people on Raw, I mean, you have Becky, who's the Raw Women's Champion. You have Lacey Evans, who's going to challenge Becky at Money in the Bank for the Raw Women's Championship. And then you have, like, Naomi. You have Natalya. Ronda might be out the door.
No, she's not out the door.
Right now she's on the hashtag impregnation vacation. But
yeah.
Right now, I don't even know if Ronda knows that she's going to come back to WWE after she has this kid.
Yeah, she's going to SmackDown.
I don't even know if she actually got pregnant yet. I don't know if
not
they
giving up that
this child
payday.
yet.
What's Travis Brown doing? Nothing.
I don't know, but
okay, here we go. SmackDown women: Asuka, Bayley, Becky.
Okay, so they got Bayley from, and we'll talk about that situation too. Obviously, a lot of fallout from WrestleMania with the whole Bayley and Sasha situation, but Bayley is now on SmackDown.
They got Billie Kay. They got Mella. Go check out our Carmella interview. It was really good on YouTube. Charlotte Flair, Ember Moon.
See, Ember Moon, that's another big one they got too. Ember Moon, who's been kind of hurt for the past few months. Ember Moon, I was excited when I saw Ember Moon show up on SmackDown. So that's another one who, in my opinion, first of all,
Mandy Rose.
Becky versus Charlotte, again, like...
How you doing?
I mean...
Oh, Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey James is on SmackDown
Kairi
now.
Sane, Lana, Liv Morgan, Maurice.
Yeah, and Liv Morgan, too. They broke up the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan's on SmackDown now.
Peyton Royce.
Of course, Peyton Royce, one half of the Iconics, the women's tag team champions.
This website is killing me, dude.
Well, the women's tag team champions now can show up on both shows.
Zelina Vega.
Which, you know what?
Sonya Deville.
Well, Sonya Deville was already on SmackDown.
And Paige.
And Paige. So, Paige is not a competitor right now. She's managing Asuka and Kairi Sane. But I want to go back now to the women's tag team titles. I mean, all of a sudden, the Iconics have these belts, and they're jobbing to people. Like, what the hell?
They were jobbing before.
But still, as the women's tag team champions, you have this brand new belt that is supposed to blaze these trails for women's wrestling, and now all of a sudden you have the women's tag team champions getting jobbed to like Naomi, to who else they got? They got jobbed to Naomi, I think twice now. I mean, what the hell's going on? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's one of those things where they gave the universe what they wanted, like they did so much at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I'm just like you. I'm like, if you wanted these girls to be champs and build them up to be champs, I mean, they look so weak.
I don't know. So I'm a little upset about that. Another thing I'm upset about is this name change to the War Raiders. What in the blue hell was Vince thinking? The Viking Experience? Are you kidding me?
Well, that didn't last too long.
It did. Now they're the Viking Raiders, but now there's rumors they may change it again.
Yeah, to the Viking Warriors?
The Viking Warriors, and I mean, it's a little better, but come up with a name and stick to it. How the hell are you? By the way, these guys are still the NXT Tag Team Champions, by the way. So when they show up at NXT, are they going to be War Raiders? Are they going to be the Viking Experience? Are they going to be the Viking Raiders? Are they going to be the Raider Experience? Are they going to be Eric and Ivar Hansen? Like, what the hell? How are you going to develop these characters when you keep changing the main thing about their identity, their name?
Well, I think this speaks to when we saw the other call-ups come, which were the elite of NXT.
Yeah.
And essentially nobody on Raw knew who they were.
Well, that was the Lafayette crowd, so.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much everywhere else, too. I mean, Lafayette in general. You guys sucked.
Yeah, Lafayette. But, well, my theory on that, and I'm sure I've talked about it on here before, is, you know, the Raw and SmackDown crowds are a lot of families and kids that probably don't have the access to the network. And as far as NXT goes, that is the end-all, be-all where it's at right now is on the network. So if you don't have access to the network, you can't see anything NXT.
Pay the $9.99 and get it.
Yeah, because I tell you what, NXT by itself,
it's worth
NXT TakeOver by itself was worth $10.
You get all the pay-per-views. Come on.
Yeah, and you get all the pay-per-view, including WrestleMania. Like,
yes.
$10.99. Like, lately, like, the last few weeks, I've had to, like, cut a lot of expenses, but one expense I'm not cutting is the WWE Network. I'm sorry. I even cut New Japan, like, and that kind of hurt a little bit. But I'm not cutting the WWE Network.
Well, they lost other good guys anyway.
Well, so. I'll still watch it because they still have some guys that I like.
You going to bootleg it?
No, I don't want to bootleg it.
Oh, okay.
No, because eventually, I think probably very soon, like maybe when Dominion rolls around in June, I might get it back because I want to get it back for the G1 because that's the original reason why I got New Japan World last year was to watch the G1 Climax tournament. So whenever the summer rolls back around, because right now I'm just not using it. After G1 Supercard, I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to use this for a little while. Plus, I think Best of the Super Juniors is coming up too, maybe very very soon. I was thinking about maybe trying to get it back for that, but we'll see. But yeah, and then the big acquisitions for the Superstar Shakeup: AJ Styles goes to Raw, Roman Reigns goes to SmackDown. So Roman Reigns is now the big dog, no pun intended, or should I say, I guess pun intended there, on SmackDown, and then AJ Styles is now already making waves on Raw. He's challenging Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship and Money in the Bank, and I tell you what. Have we gotten AJ versus Seth one-on-one yet since AJ has come to WWE? I don't know if we have.
I have no idea.
I don't think we have. If we have, I don't remember it. It's certainly not at this, not where the stakes are this high for the Universal Championship. So I'm looking forward to that. To me, those two guys are the best that WWE has right now as far as bell-to-bell in-ring performers. Those are the two best guys that they have right now. That's going to be a tremendous match. As of right now, I see Seth retaining because AJ right now, in my opinion, doesn't need a belt. AJ is one of those guys that does not need a belt, and he can feud with another guy and kind of help get, because AJ's at that point in his career now where he's going to go in there and he can still look good even if he loses, and he can get some of these other guys on Raw, because like you were saying, SmackDown won the Superstar Shakeup, but to me, Raw got the best overall acquisition in AJ Styles. That's just my opinion. So AJ's gonna have some good feuds on Raw. I feel like the potential is there. Speaking of, somebody pull up a graphic on Reddit, and I'm gonna pull it up for you right here, and I'm just gonna rattle off the names in this graphic, and you tell me what it reminds you of. Let's see here. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so you got AJ Styles, EC3, Samoa Joe, Eric Young. Who else here? What does that sound like to you?
Oh, that's Impact Wrestling.
Exactly. So someone put a graphic up, and there was like 6 or 7 guys that used to be in Impact Wrestling. They're now on Raw. Yeah, Bobby Roode's another one too. Or Robert Roode. He's Robert Roode now. So
come on.
He changed his name to Robert Roode. Now instead of having the beard, he has just the mustache.
I'm not digging it.
I'm not really digging it either, but I'm interested to see what they can do with Bobby Roode now, a singles run, maybe as a heel. That'll be kind of interesting. So a lot to digest from the Superstar Shakeup. Obviously, AJ to Raw, Roman to SmackDown. Those are the 2 big acquisitions. Finn to SmackDown, Samoa Joe, and then Elias to SmackDown as well. That was another big pickup and then The Miz to Raw. So those were like the 3 big acquisitions, at least for the men. So,
and you know what? If I was AJ Styles, I would feel really disrespected right about now.
AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Why is that?
You bring me to the company. You put me on the B show, right?
Yeah.
I make the B show the A show.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you send him to Raw.
Then, when it's about to switch to Fox, and I'm going to have all these faces watching me, you switch me back to the B show.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think AJ's also going to get to that point very, very soon, probably the next year, where he's going to start taking a lighter schedule. And that's the thing. I mean, we talked about it earlier this week. You know how we do the "Are they worth it" kind of thing, and I was like, man, because we never mentioned AJ in that discussion on what he makes, and I was like, that dude is easily worth $2 million a year because he's the best in-ring performer that they have, in my opinion, and the dude shows up every week, not like a Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey. Well, Ronda shows up. I'll give that to Ronda; she showed up every week. But like you have like a Ronda, like a Cena, like a Taker. Not saying that they're the best right now, but as far as AJ goes, AJ is so good. AJ wouldn't have to show up every week. AJ's got the name power now and the leverage.
TV is where it's at anyway.
Yeah,
show up once a week.
So yeah, AJ's easily worth $2 million. We said he makes about $2.5 million, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.3 or 2.5.
Yeah, that's why he's not going nowhere else because WWE's forking that money over for AJ Styles.
Yeah.
But it'll be probably the next year or so that he's going to start taking a lighter schedule, I have a feeling. All right, so that's a few things to get from the Superstar Shakeup. A lot happened there. One other thing that happened, I don't think this was necessarily happened because of the Superstar Shakeup, but obviously after WrestleMania, superstars that have been gone for a little while are back. This includes Bray Wyatt, all of a sudden, that has come back. Now, we've seen those vignettes, those little video packages, legitimately the creepiest thing WWE has done in a very, very long time, if not ever, in my opinion. These little vignettes, especially that doll. When that doll popped up, I was no, not the buzzard, the doll, like the little girl, like the black hair.
Yeah.
I said, nope, I'm noping the hell out of this one. Like I was
thumbs down
because, and they target kids like. To me, if I was, 5 or 6 years old and saw that, I would freak the hell out.
I would think those things are under my bed.
So, yeah, like that would give me nightmares. I'm not going to lie. And I was like, what the hell? And whenever I first saw it, obviously the buzzard that came out of the box, and I texted Brinkman. I was like, man, what the hell is this? And, he sent me back, follow the buzzards. I was like, oh, Bray Wyatt, which it made sense at the point. And then this past week, or like in the last 2 weeks, we get this segment called Firefly Funhouse, which is like a Blue's Clues ripoff, and it's Bray Wyatt. Coming in, he kind of cleaned up the beard, kind of cleaned up his look a little bit. He's also trimmed down a lot, too, so he's looking real good these days. And next thing you know, I see the buzzard, I see this creepy doll, but like now they're like in a light where they're not as creepy. I mean, they still kind of look creepy, but like they're not acting creepy, if that makes sense.
Or at least not yet.
Not yet. Well, here's the thing, and this is the thing that everybody's been talking about, the past couple of weeks, is this new Bray Wyatt gimmick. Where are they going to go with this? From what I'm reading, this is going to be a swerve. Like, we think Bray Wyatt's going to come back as this, little kid show host character kind of thing, this, warm, fuzzy Bray Wyatt thing. But apparently, it's going to get to a point where, like, and, if you watch the Firefly Funhouse segment, you see that part where he kind of puts his hands over his face and, like, it kind of wants to turn creepy on you, but then, like, it swerves you and it doesn't turn creepy.
Then, like, his gloves say hurt and heal or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And then, of course, he actually, he said something about I used to be a bad man, and they actually had a cardboard cutout of his old gimmick, so to speak, where he had the long beard, the hat, and whatever. And he put, he revved up the chainsaw and cut through the old one, and he said something about, I'm going to make sure I never go back to that man. Well, guess what? He's going to go back to that man. When he's going to go back, I don't know. But apparently what they're going to do is they may run this Firefly house thing for however long, but when he turns, apparently they're going to try and turn him into the creepiest he's ever been and try and make him like untouchable in the ring. That's what I'm reading. Apparently he's going to be one of those just unstoppable forces in the ring, which, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt's kind of needed some repackaging. And while this isn't what I expected, it's got people talking. It's got me intrigued. So I'm interested to see where they go with this new package of Bray Wyatt. And I do expect them to turn this very, very creepy.
Exactly.
His original character was very creepy already, but how much more creepy can you get from that original character is what I'm interested in seeing.
You talking about Husky whatever?
No. I'm talking about when he was originally Bray Wyatt. No, Husky. Well, that was just, I don't know what that was.
But you could tell, like you were saying, about the way they shot it and the way they edited it.
Yeah.
This character is going to be really sinister and really like psycho.
Yeah, I've been reading, this is going to be a dark character, like very, very dark. So I'm somewhat excited about it. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I don't know if we're going to see this. And I don't know how they're going to book him in the ring yet, because right now he's just obviously cut the little promo with the Firefly Funhouse. Of course, we know what he can do in the ring. He's very good in the ring. But how they're booking him in the ring as far as...
Maybe he takes a bunch of L's as a good guy, as the Firefly Funhouse guy.
That's the thing. That's what I'm...
And then he just snaps.
That's what I'm interested to see. And it doesn't look like he's going to have a faction. I mean, his faction right now is a doll, a buzzard, and something else. I think he had like another little character in his little Firefly Funhouse thing. I don't know. But, so Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse. It's got people talking. I think after like the first day, it had 850,000 views on YouTube.
Unless Braun comes back and starts wearing a buzzard head.
I don't know. Who knows? But Bray Wyatt has a new gimmick now. It's expected to turn very, very dark at some point. We don't know when, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to do.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing, let's turn our attention now to AEW Double or Nothing, which is now less than a month away.
Yes, sir.
Less than a month away from AEW's Double or Nothing, their first pay-per-view, or I guess you want to call it pay-per-view, or first wrestling event that they're going to put on. And the latest match added to the card was announced through their Road to Double or Nothing series on YouTube, and it's going to be exactly what everyone thought it was going to be. Cody will be fighting his brother, Dustin Rhodes. So it's going to be brother versus brother. It might be Dustin Rhodes' last match in professional wrestling because
it can't be.
You don't think it will be?
No, it can't be.
Well, he's officially retired the Goldust character, which I think is like a WWE thing, so he can't even use it anyway, as far as I know. So he's going to be Dustin Rhodes. He's got this new red and black face paint thing kind of going on, and I don't know. I don't know what his status is going to be with AEW. I don't know if he's going to do a one-off. Was it you that mentioned something about maybe down the line have them tag team?
Yeah, I would love to see them tag and call themselves the American Dream or the American Dreamers or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because is there going to get to a point where, because I know WWE has like the trademark of Cody Rhodes, which is why Cody Rhodes has only been able to use Cody in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and now AEW, but after a while, if WWE doesn't use that, then don't they lose that trademark? And
unless they re-up it.
Unless they re-up it. But if they choose not to, and then maybe Cody can, get it and use Cody Rhodes, because in my opinion at this point, like Cody Rhodes, that just I feel like I don't feel like he needs that last name, but I feel like he wants to use that last name, obviously, and why not? I mean,
he said it like on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's called himself Cody Rhodes, like in the third person.
Yeah, so
I don't know why he hasn't got sued yet.
I don't know, but I'm hoping he's able to use it, in his booking and whatnot coming up. So, but it's going to be Dustin.
Maybe all that money behind them, they won't be scared.
Yeah, you're right. So let me see. I'm going to pull up the Double or Nothing. Let's see, Double or Nothing card. There we go. That's what I was looking for right there. Let me pull it up. All right, so AEW Double or Nothing with that match. Let's see what it looks like here. Pulling up the matches here, just waiting for the phone to load up. All right, so here we go. Hangman Adam Page taking on Pac. That's going to be a fun match. SoCal Uncensored, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky will be taking on SEMA and two other people to be determined. SEMA, I think, is from AAA, right? From that Mexican promotion?
These guys are all from that Chinese promotion.
Oh, they're from the Chinese promotion.
OWE or something like that.
Yeah. Of course, Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho.
Yes.
You have Dr. Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray in a three-way triple threat match. Cody versus Dustin Rhodes. Then they have the over-the-budget battle royal. Sonny Kiss, Kip Sabian, Brandon Cutler, Ace Romero, Glacier, Brian Pillman Jr., Sunny Days, MJF, Joey Janela. Those are the few.
Joey Janela's going to be able to wrestle?
Yeah, that's what it says right here. Joey Janela's in here, and they're going to add some more to
Hopefully
it.
Ace Romero doesn't fall on his leg.
Well, that's all they have listed right now, at least from what I can see, for this over-the-budget Battle Royal.
Oh, Glacier going to be in there, huh?
Yeah, Glacier. And then, of course, the Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Brothers for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. That's the only title that looks like it's going to be on the line at Double or Nothing. And then, of course, they have their next event coming up in July, I think July 13th, Fight for the Fallen, which will take place in Jacksonville. I think it's going to be Kenny Omega versus SEMA. Brandy Rhodes will make her AEW in-ring debut against Allie, who I think will also make her in-ring debut for AEW as well that night, because I don't think she's booked to wrestle.
It's going to be a great match.
She's not booked to wrestle at Double or Nothing right now. And Chris Jericho will be there, of course, too. They said Chris Jericho will be there. So nice. Fight for the Fallen, already looking ahead to the next event. And then, of course, the rumors of the TV deals that are going to be happening. Turner Broadcasting could be picking up AEW, where they could have Tuesday Night Dynamite. That's the rumors. Nothing has been made official yet. So I think they're going to announce that sometime next month in May, coming up here, as May comes up here in a few days. So looking forward to that. Double or Nothing coming up less than a month. Fight for the Fallen in July. And the possible TV show coming up. So it's going to be a fun looking forward to seeing what AEW has up their sleeve. Plus, they're still trying to get more and more acquisitions as well. Let's see here. All right. So let's go move ahead now back to some WWE news. Luke Harper has requested his release from the company here. Let's see. Oh, wow. We're
doing good.
Time's flying. So Luke Harper has requested his release from WWE, and unfortunately WWE has not granted his release. I don't know when his contract is up. But I saw something. People are saying like they added dates to his, contract or something, or they extended it or something. Can they do that?
Well, essentially, it's the same thing that happened with Pac.
Yeah.
While your contract is still valid, the days that you miss or that you're unwilling to go to, they add those on to the end of your contract.
Yeah.
Plus, you have a no-compete clause. So it's months after your contract is actually up.
Yeah, so I guess that's why
until you can wrestle.
Yeah, so I guess that's why Pac just didn't do anything for a long time after he just walked out.
I wonder if he was like bagging groceries or something.
I don't know. Well, maybe he had enough money to kind of hold himself off, or maybe just took it easy. If anything, as a guy like Pac who's wrestled a lot in WWE, he might have just took that time. He's like, look, I'm just going to rest my body and be fresh for that day I can wrestle again. He was ready to go, and now he's in AEW, at least from what I'm gathering, he's in AEW. So because he has that title belt for that other promotion,
Lionsgate.
Yeah, Lionsgate. So, but we don't have to worry about Pac no compete clause now. He's ready to rock and roll.
They said that the AEW guys can still take other bookings too, right?
Yeah,
it's not going to be an exclusive contract.
Yeah, I guess in certain situations, like Kenny Omega, I think he's allowed to go back to New Japan. In certain situations, he can go back and wrestle in New Japan. Other than that, I don't know. I think Jericho could probably take other dates too because he's Chris Jericho and he has that leverage. Yeah. But a guy like Pac, and I think a guy like Pac would have that leverage too because obviously he's he has a Lionsgate title, so maybe he had a commitment to Lionsgate to a certain point. And they said, all right, well, we're going to let you make that keep that commitment, and then once you're done with that commitment, come be with us full time.
I wonder if because like Impact, their guys, and ROH. Their guys can work indie shows.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be like they can book ROH and Impact guys.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see because, with the amount of money that apparently AEW is dishing out and the fact that, anybody that's signed with AEW really hasn't done anything yet, you're probably getting paid big bucks to not have all these dates, and especially when they get the TV deal going, once they get a TV show and whatnot, they're going to be obviously a little more busy. So who knows what's going to happen, but, if I'm getting paid, a pretty good chunk of money from AEW and I'm only working a few dates, or working once a week, why would I want to go pick up any more work? You know? But, I mean, now that I think about it, I guess I could see people wanting, I want to make a little extra money. Sure, why not? But for the most part, if, you paying me a couple $1 million a year, I'll show up once a week. I mean, I have no problem with that.
Well, we also heard that they're going to be a touring company too. So there's not just going to be once a week. They're going to be doing house shows.
It's a work in progress. So they're slowly getting there. They got to cross your T's, dot your I's, and all that stuff.
I would love to see them sign the New Heart Foundation.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Or MLW.
Absolutely. So
screw that contract.
So yeah, that's kind of what's coming up for AEW. Of course, Double or Nothing, Cody versus Dustin. That's what everybody really expected. That's what we're getting. So that's going to be fun. Luke Harper now, of course, we were talking about that, requested his release. They didn't grant it. So Luke Harper, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to go ahead and just wrestle, do whatever they tell him to do. So that way, when his contract's up, he'll take a little break.
He almost has to.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Otherwise, you're just going to set yourself back so far. But they were saying in this article that they made the mistake, quote unquote, of letting Ty Dillinger get out of his from a tweet.
Yeah.
And they said that all of a sudden they started getting all these other tweets.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? We got to snuff this out.
Yeah. So Ty Dillinger got lucky with that one, but I think the last time Ty Dillinger performed was in Lake Charles, actually.
Ruined it for everybody.
Because I think it was a day after that he was like, I request my release.
Yeah.
So
out of here.
So we got to see Ty Dillinger's last WWE match in the city of Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Nice.
So Luke Harper requested his release. Similar situation going on, not the exact situation, but the similar situation going on with Sasha Banks right now. Apparently she walked out. She was not happy. Some were saying she was not happy about the fact that her and Bayley lost the women's tag team titles. And with the way that they're booking the current women's tag team titles, I'd be mad too.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they were more upset about the fact that they found out that they were getting split up. Because obviously Bayley went to SmackDown and Sasha, from what I'm assuming, will still be on Raw. So WWE apparently has given her an ultimatum. They were giving her till Money in the Bank to show back up. And apparently what they want to do to make her happy, which in my opinion, you know what, I don't know, I'm starting to dislike Sasha because look, she's probably getting paid a pretty good penny. She's one of their more valuable superstars. She had a title shot at the Royal Rumble. She was one half of the first ever women's tag team titles, although I'm sure she wished that it had a longer run with it. But she's won the Raw women's title, 3 or 4 times now? I mean, Sasha, you're not going to be on top all the time. I feel like Sasha feels like she's entitled. And
she's Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yeah, come on now. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way Sasha's handling this. Apparently, Bayley seems like she's handling it a little bit better. She's actually shown up to work. And now, now they want to give her the Money in the Bank briefcase. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm cool with that. But don't give it to her because she walked out. If I walked out of my job right now, you think they'd say, oh, well, hey, look, to come back, we're going to give you a raise and we're going to give you a better position. Hell no.
Well, you never know.
No, it's...
Never know unless you try, Patrick.
I'm not going to take that risk because I do my job, I do what's told of me, and I get my check, and I go about my business. Don't whine and complain, if... I don't know, it's honestly, it's irritating me a little bit. You want to talk about doing a cheap heat segment? Sasha Banks got cheap heat with me right now because... And I felt like
Sasha... Tell her how you feel, dog.
And honestly, I've always felt like Sasha... was like that. I felt like, she always felt entitled. She should be in here. She should be there. And it's look, she's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. She's a big name. But at the end of the day, if the chips don't fall your way, don't be a little crybaby and walk out. There's people like Dana Brooke are still showing up to work. And Dana Brooke...
People like Alicia Fox are still showing up to work even though they're drunk.
If people like Alicia Fox, if EC3 still showing up to work, why the hell can't you show up to work? It's just I don't agree with it. So as far as I'm concerned,
powder that forehead so you don't blind us when the lights hit you.
And the fact is that WWE is going to reward her for this act for this. That's stunning to me. Stunning. It's absolutely absurd.
Well, there's all this talent poaching. They don't want her to go anywhere else.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, WWE is oversaturated with so much talent right now that if Sasha Banks left, I'd be like, bye.
Yeah, but every star that you lose gives them an extra advantage. Whatever. Because not only is it now newsworthy that AEW has picked up Sasha Banks, or whatever her name will be there.
Yeah.
People are going to be interested in seeing what AEW's got.
Yeah, you're right.
They already are.
They already, like I said, when they got Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, that was you. Whoever else is coming is going to be Lanyard.
Yeah.
For AEW,
I wonder how much heat that's putting on her husband, because her husband's like a costume designer there, so he's still working.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh, she's at home eating bonbons.
I don't know, but she needs a reality check. Like, dude, you're getting paid. Like, so what if you're not on the, at the end of the day, if you're getting paid, shut up and do whatever they tell you to do. Like,
wouldn't that be funny if she went and did some bookings for free? Like with ROH or Impact or something like that.
That would be
I didn't technically get paid, so it wasn't a job. I just volunteered.
Now that right there, she'd get some major heat, I'm sure, for that. I'm sure she already has some heat because look, at the end of the day, look at the Luke Harper situation. He requested his release. Now he's not going to get it, but I'm sure he's still going to show up to work. Whether or not they have him do anything is one thing, but Sasha Banks straight up said, well, I'm out of here. Like, peace out. Like, I might show back up, I might not. And then WWE's going to possibly give her the Money in the Bank contract. Like, get out of here.
I'm CM Punking it.
I just don't, I don't get it,
Yeah.
So, whatever. I'm over the Sasha Banks thing. As far as I'm concerned, she can go wherever. I don't care.
Dang.
I don't know. But it's almost time for this interview. We got Kim Artlip waiting. She's a wrestling promoter.
Yeah, she's a promoter in Vero Beach, Florida for Ignite Wrestling. Let's go ahead and go to the CBDforyou.net hotline.
Let's do this.
That's right. We are on the CBDforyou.net hotline, brought to you by CBDforyou.net. You don't have to live in pain anymore, have trouble sleeping. CBD can help you. For great sales and great deals and free shipping, CBDforyou.net. Today's guest is promoter, columnist, 2018 Woman of the Year, Kim Artlip, joins us today. Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and you know what? I actually do use CBD oil for pain, and it really does work. I will say that.
There you go. We have a testimonial right off the bat. Yeah, my wife uses it as well. That's how we got the sponsorship. She's had back trouble ever since she got T-boned by a dump truck back in high school, and the state that we live in is cracking down on CBD hard, but that's not going to stop me from giving my wife relief.
That's true. Yeah, Florida, it doesn't seem to have the issues with it. And I have a lot of back issues and arthritis and herniated discs. And it's a miracle for me to found it, and it actually works.
Let's go ahead and get into you. When did you first realize that, hey, I'm a wrestling fan?
I've been a wrestling fan since I was 5. First match I saw was 1970. Bruno Sammartino. So I've been a fan as long as I can remember. Every month, my dad took me to a little newsstand. I got the wrestling magazines as soon as I could read, and I was hooked. If you ever read my column or you listen to me on podcasts, I always talk about my love for Stan Hansen. I am a huge Stan Hansen fan.
Now, when did you decide to become more than a fan and become a promoter?
2015. 2015. I had a different company. I was seeing some local indie shows. I was not impressed. And I thought, with what I know about business and how much I love wrestling, that this was something that I could do, that I would be passionate about. And to be honest, it's insane how passionate I am about this company. With all the stress and everything that goes into it, I can't imagine doing anything else now.
So tell everybody where they can find Ignite Wrestling on the internet.
We run the internet. No, we're on everything is at Ignite. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're an official Twitch partner. We're on Fight TV, Roku. Nothing else on .tv. We're on Amazon Fire. We're on Twitter, Snapchat. You name it. If it's a platform, we're on it. Pretty much.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, when you started promoting, I see now that you're on your page, you're one of 4 women promoters in the United States. That's an exclusive club. How many women promoters were out there when you started?
There were 4 owner promoters. There's a couple that say they're promoters that do it with their husbands. I don't do it. We're not a husband and wife team, which a lot of them, the husband owns it and the wife promotes. I do everything, and I love my husband, and I'm not dissing my husband in any way. He has a full-time job. He enjoys wrestling, but our levels of commitment and insanity toward it aren't even the same. He does handle the door. He handles the pay. He helps with the crowd at shows, but in the day-to-day, he's not involved at all.
And looking at some of the recent posts on your Facebook page at Ignite Wrestling, you had a post on there with a video package of some wrestlers that have come through Ignite that have made a name for themselves. And then the most recent post you have is congratulating Skylar Moore on her WWE Performance Center tryout. Tell us a bit about Skylar Moore.
Skylar is a student at Team 3D Academy. We learned about her through John Cruz, and I'm going to break kayfabe, Serpentico. John has recommended, because he's also a trainer at 3D, a lot of amazing people that John has recommended that he trains there. Skylar Moore, Kylan King, Leva Bates trains there, Teddy Stigma, the Classic Brothers. There's probably been about, I think, 18, 20 wrestlers that we've used that are students that have been trained there. Skylar came to us about a year ago. She came in in a dark match against Kylan King. We loved her. I mean, she out of the gate, this girl is amazing. And it's been a year. We just had her in a tag team in February. This girl can do it all. Lucha style, she can dive, she can wrestle, she works the crowd. She's this tiny little heel, and it's just so over the top how hysterically funny she is. And mean, and she's so adorably cute, and just all this meanness coming out of this cute little package. But she really is a package. This girl can do anything in the ring. I was surprised to see her, but not surprised. And I knew it was a matter of time before she was there. Just like we've seen Trisha Dora there. We've seen Jessica Carr, who is now one of the female referees in NXT. She came through. The majority of our females have come out of Team 3D. I mean, because we know that they can wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're the 2018 Woman of the Year Business Professional nominee for, what does this say, Indian River right here? Tell us a little bit about that award.
I was one of, I believe there were 10 candidates. I didn't win my division, but I was one of 10 candidates in the county as a business professional nominee, and which was a huge honor. And I was actually nominated by people that I've worked with, vendors and the event planners and the vendors that Ignite has worked with recommended me for that, was how I got nominated. And it was kind of cool because we went to, I believe it was John's Island or the Moorings, one of the beachside resorts. And there's a room of like 200-300 people, and you see all these volunteers and all these people doing all these things, and I'm walking across this room to the stage to get my little plaque as a nominee. I say pro wrestling, and just the look on people's faces was priceless. I seriously, if I wasn't in a dress and heels and being a mature adult, I would have done totally DX suck it. Because it was like wrestling. I mean, it's just absolute looks of horror on their faces. But, different strokes for different folks. Not everybody can do the same thing and run the same type of business and do the same volunteer thing. And at that time, we were also a nonprofit. A lot of people didn't realize Ignite Wrestling, and there was Ignite Advocacy, we also were doing work with families with special needs children. But Ignite Wrestling has grown so much, we didn't quite have the funding for the nonprofit, so I focused all my energy into Ignite Wrestling this year.
So you're in Vero Beach, Florida. Was there any promotion there before you, or were you the first promotion in that town?
There hasn't been wrestling in this area in 25 years.
Oh, wow. So how did
that... About 30 minutes south. We'll run at the Fenn Center in Fort Pierce. Years ago, there was wrestling about 30, 40 minutes south. But no, we pretty much, we are the only thing on the Treasure Coast in wrestling. So it's been interesting growing a fan base where wrestling hasn't been. And I mean, this is a beachy kind of upscale area. So to bring in wrestling was kind of interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you with, with the culture of the community, not having wrestling there. How did it receive you guys?
Well, we lucked out. I mean, we had been in some other venues in other towns, but when we settled into Vero Beach 2 years ago, we have a fantastic relationship with a place called Walking Tree Brewery. They've been absolutely excellent. We run Saturday afternoon shows every 3 to 4 months. And by bringing in quality wrestlers and not making it into a carny style event, we've been growing a fan base here because, we have Serpentico and Caleb Conley and Gary J. I mean, wrestlers that go out there and get it done. And that's one of the biggest struggles I've had is when I do talk to local businesses for sponsors, they're like, oh, get Joe from the radio station to wrestle. And I'm like, who would want to watch somebody that's never been in a ring get in there? Because it's a safety issue, and It's not entertaining. I would rather bring in, the people that are trained and professional and know what they're doing and put on a good show than just to do something for carny value. And I hate to say carny, but for shock value or whatever that word would be.
Right, and you're also a columnist for GorillaPosition.com. Shout out to Ryan Bowman and Michael Melkor. 3 days ago, you posted a story of the scourge of the bad indie manager. And it's a great piece. I love this piece. And you reference great managers like Bobby the Brain Heenan, J.J. Dillon, Jimmy Hart, Jim Cornette, Paulie Dangerously. What makes a good manager?
You have to know the crowd. You have to be able to work the crowd, and it's not about you. It's about what's going on in the ring and keeping the crowd invested in the action in the ring. And I think that's one of the problems when in the column, and I did get a lot of 90% positive, but the 10% of people that hated what I wrote were the people that were out there insulting the crowd, insulting the venue, making it all about them. And I talked about J.T. Davidson. I love J.T. Davidson, by the way. Great guy, Dave Chris manager. And he did a show for us 2.5 years ago, 2016, July 2016. And I was so fascinated watching him work the crowd and work the ring and work the crowd into the action, into the ring, that I couldn't even watch the ring because I was just absolutely blown away. I'd never seen a manager in the previous year or two live that could do that, and on the indies, it was always Heyman or this one or that one, but this guy blows them all away, and I don't know why he's not on a bigger stage. I mean, the guy's amazing.
Right, we're talking with Ignite Wrestling promoter, columnist, and 2018 Woman of the Year nominee, Kim Artlip, on the CBD4U.net hotline. Now, Kim, if someone out there is thinking about starting a promotion in their area, say they don't have a competing promotion and they're looking for the best way to promote their promotion, what have you found the most successful ways of promoting a wrestling promotion?
A lot of it is you have to go back to basics. You have to get the word out. Facebook alone and Twitter alone are not going to get you over. You have to go old school. Posters, talking it up. I'm one of the few promoters that actually networks. I'm at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm at the Rotary Club. I'm at this networking breakfast, that networking breakfast. I'm at other events where I'm doing vendor tables. You have to promote awareness. If you have no awareness, you're not going to have anyone show up. And I've seen a lot of promotions that had really good concepts and really cool graphics, and their logos were great, and nobody knew who they were or where they were at because they only shared it within the same, with their family, with their friends, and nobody else knew about them. So unless you can get that buzz going and create an awareness, that's the first thing you have to do. And you have to understand this is a business. Being a wrestling promoter is not about getting your friends on shows. Being a wrestling promoter is about running a business. And what you want to do is you not only want to make money, which, trust me, you're not on your first show, but or your second or your 15th.
Oh, no.
You're never going to make money. But it's not about the money. It's about creating the buzz. It's about creating the legacy. It's about making the memories. And that's the problem you see. Most promotions are created out of a sense of anger because so-and-so's not booking me, or I can do this better, or screw this person, I should be a headliner. If you're not main event material when you create a company and put yourself in the main event, you're going to fail. Exactly what's going to happen.
That is so interesting because I was reading a Facebook post from a wrestler the other day that said the same thing about wrestlers starting promotions that are terrible promotions just so they can be the headliner and wear the strap.
Absolutely. And it's been an ongoing joke because if you look at my Facebook, you'll see pictures of me holding the strap, and it's actually over there in the closet. I have an extra set of belts through a misprint. But I would take the belt with me when I network because everybody wants to touch it. And it didn't matter if it was a women's belt. I have tons of guys posing in a women's belt because it's so cool. But, it's been an ongoing joke. When am I going to put the belt on myself? Well, yeah, that's kind of cliche. But if you look at these guys, there they are. These guys were main eventing in their own company that can't even get a booking in another company, let alone a mid-card. So yeah, you're doomed to failure if you're creating a promotion as a vanity project to get yourself over. I hope you and your mom and dad and your friends have a good time because that's basically all it's going to be. It's an ego project. It's not a business.
Right. And if there's any young wrestlers who maybe just got out of school, they're looking to get booked, nobody knows them, they haven't made a name for themselves, how should they properly reach out to a promoter?
Yeah, if you message me and say, hey, babe, or hey, hi.
Oh, no.
Pretty much you're never going to get any. I am not the booker anymore. Originally, I was the booker, and I will say Aaron Epic is my booker. He's also currently our champion. But you have to be trained. You got to get the experience. We get a lot of people every show that have never wrestled or took a couple classes that have no experience. We're not putting you in the ring. I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the basics and you can't protect yourself and your opponent, no. Go to a school. Team 3D Academy is excellent. Go to a school, get experience, start doing student shows, and you've got to get that ring awareness because just because you took a 6 months or a month or a year of classes, if you're not getting bookings, your trainer didn't do something right. Your trainer should be helping you get your original bookings and teaching you how to approach. And I've talked about that. Brutal Bob Evans talks about that. Chris Silvio talks about that. There are ways to approach a wrestler, and saying, hey, I want to get booked in a message doesn't cut it. I want to know who you are. I want to see your pictures. I want to see your videos. I want to know who trained you. I need to know, do you have a look? Do you have a gimmick? Not just, I want to work. Well, if you want to work, you can come set up the ring because that's all you're going to get to do until you get that experience.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. That's another piece of advice I saw from a wrestler that said, just because a promoter doesn't book you, ask if you can come help set up the ring or help, set up anything and help around the promotion.
Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of our scramble matches, you'll see scramble matches in 6 ways and 4 ways. Those are the guys that we didn't originally book that showed up with gear. No matter where you go, always have your gear. Because I can think of probably 12, 14 guys that weren't on our card that you'll see in an Ignite ring. Because they showed up, they they came early. They set up the ring. They asked questions, and we're like, okay, we're going to put you in a match. This is what you're going to do. And they followed directions, and they worked their way into being into the shows. Nick Nero is a perfect example. He's now living in Ohio, but Nick Nero showed up, did ring crew, did some stood at ringside doing some lumberjack matches, and eventually worked his way up to being one of our opening match guys because he worked the crowd so well. But all because he showed up and put out the effort and the initiative.
Right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. You gave us great insight on being a promoter, and I think it's really cool about just the fact that, you are so immersed into your community, and you guys are doing great things over there. I love your work on GorillaPosition.com. Keep that up. This has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me on. It's not often I get to get on podcasts and talk a little bit outside of the shows themselves. So it's always fun.
Most definitely. And you said maybe you might start your podcast back up. What's the word on that?
Honestly, and I'll say this nicely, I will podcast. It's coming. But in the interim, I'm actually doing some being coached by a business coach because I would love to jump into podcasting, and there's a lot of things I'd like to do, but it has to make sense.
There you go.
So I'm working on a whole 2-year plan of the company and me and how we both will interact. And it's kind of it's a little complicated, but I'd love to put myself over, but I want to put the company first and a lot of stuff. And I originally started before I was actually a promoter. I had a talk radio show about wrestling.
Oh, cool.
So, and I was on live stream and everything. So it has to make sense and it has to tie in, but it doesn't have to necessarily be the Ignite podcast. I want something that's me, but Ignite that it has to tie. It's hard to explain.
No. I totally get you. You got to have a plan, and you got to follow that plan.
Yeah, I just don't want to jump into something and be like, okay, and now we're going to revamp it. No, I have to have it set to it makes sense out the gate and promoted and built correctly. I don't want to have to keep revising it as I go. That's frustrating, which I've had to do on other projects.
Follow Ignite Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Check them out on Fight TV. Man, you got it going on, Kim. Thank you so much. Keep doing a great job, and we appreciate your time. Have a good one.
All right, thanks so much.
There you go. Really cool lady right there. A lot of interesting stuff happening in your life.
Yeah, I think that's the first actual promoter we have on, right? I don't know. We get to we're 71 episodes in, and I was thinking about it earlier today. Yeah. I was like, I've actually forgotten some of the people we may have had on the, earlier I was talking to I got a message from Hunter Bauer. He's thinking about revamping his Louisiana Preps website. So
hold up. So let me get this right. Now there's cheap heat between me and Hunter.
Oh yeah.
So Hunter's messaging you, and I've sent him 18 messages that he's seen on Facebook, and he can't even say screw off, Mikey O.
Well, I don't know.
He's got to leave me in limbo?
Well, apparently, I think he moved back to Haynesville, which is where he's from.
There is such thing as Facebook Messenger, Hunter Bauer. We use it all the time.
Well, he reached out to me because what he wants to do is he wants to start a podcast about...
Oh, of course he does.
Well, it's for his website, so it's not going to be a pro wrestling podcast.
Oh, at least now it's not going to be.
It's going to be in regards to... Well, I really don't know what it's going to be about. He just asked me, he said, hey, look, but this is why he messaged me. Because
hold up. Is he wanting you to be on his podcast?
He wants me to co-host his podcast.
Patrick Fry.
What?
Patrick Fry.
What?
You moonlighter.
I'm not. What you mean? I'm not saying I'm leaving this podcast. I'm fully committed to this. But it's not going to be a pro wrestling podcast. It's going to be a podcast about Louisiana high school sports. So that's two totally different things.
I don't know how
right?
I feel about this.
You don't know how you feel about that? Well, this is why he messaged me, because he got in touch with Bruce Merchant, who's the owner of KEZM, the station that we run on, and Bruce recommended he message me. That's what. So Bruce recommended. That's what he told me. He said,
"So what are you going to do? You going to drive all the way to Huntsville or wherever he's at?"
No, I have the capabilities of doing it remotely from my house.
But he can't come on the Average Marks remotely.
Maybe he's busy, man. He might be busy trying to revamp that over there. So if that's fine, if he wants to do, if he's got his own thing, like we're doing our thing here at the Average Marks. If he's trying to revamp, of course, he's also been writing a book too. He's been writing a book about Haynesville football. So I don't know.
You cut me real deep, Hunter. You cut me real deep.
So, but I don't know. He said he's thinking about it, but he asked me, said, if I were to do it, would you want to do it with me? I said, yeah, I'll do it with you. So it's something different. I'm trying to. I got to expand my horizons, man.
No, I feel you, dog.
I'm still here though. And now, if any other pro wrestling podcast says, "Hey, you want to be on? You want to do my pro?" I'm saying, "No, I got one already." That's the thing. If this was a pro wrestling podcast, I would have said,
"I'm about to message this dude right now."
I can't believe this. I'm gonna get Hunter in trouble with you now. But
this guy.
But yeah, he asked me to do, and he don't even know what he's doing. But he said, if I were to do it, don't make that man get mad at me now.
Hold on. Where's he at?
Oh, no. You really going to message that man right now?
I sent way too many messages. Hold on.
Oh, well.
Where's he at?
I don't know.
Dude, did he, unlike me or something?
Unlike you, unfriend you mean?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Now we got to get into this, Patrick.
Oh boy, this turned interesting real quick.
Dude, did I do anything to this cat?
I don't know. I don't think you did.
Oh wait, no, we're still there. All right, let's go right here.
Maybe he just don't have time to come on, the podcast. Maybe he's working on his own projects.
Okay, let's see here. September 7th, 2018, 2:41 p.m.
Yep.
Hey Hunter, how you been? Just wanted to reach out and let you know we would love to have you guest on the show again. Crickets. Kind of like, maybe I need to buy him a yellow shirt.
I don't know.
Maybe that get him back in. September 29th, 2018, 6:56 p.m. That's me trying to tell him to do our Amazon affiliate. If he'd have bought something, maybe Jeff Bezos wouldn't have cut us.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, December 3rd, 12:10 p.m. Hey, Hunter, how you been? Just wanted to reach out and let you know we would love to have you guest on the show again. Crickets. March 18th.
Oh, so you messaged him about a little over a month ago.
Yeah. Yo, Hunter, what you got going Saturday at 11? Patrick has the weekend off, and I'd love for you to guest host on the podcast. Let me know if you can.
I guess he's busy.
That's
what I'm guessing.
Trying to steal Patrick Fry.
No, he's not going to steal me. He's just going to share me with you, I guess, in a way. No, I'm still committed to this. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I can see this bothers you.
Oh, Hunter Bauer.
Oh, but it's because sports is my aside from pro wrestling,
like a thief in the night.
Sports is my thing.
Like a snake in the grass. No, I'm happy for it. I know you'd love to do that.
Yeah, and it's Louisiana High School. Like I said, if it was a pro wrestling podcast, I would have said, look, I can't do another pro wrestling. If you want me to come be a guest on there once or twice, I'll do that, but I wouldn't do another pro wrestling podcast full time.
See, I need to win this lottery so we can make this big like What Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put Brink on payroll. We'll put Cruz on payroll.
Hell yeah.
We'll put you on payroll.
Hell yeah.
We'll put Elijah on payroll.
Hell yeah.
We'll make Conrad, a filthy Brit, move down here.
Yeah.
Put him on payroll.
Well, go buy you some lottery tickets.
Yeah.
But
I've been doing that. It's not working out too well.
It doesn't work out for me either. So.
Did you hear about that 24-year-old guy that won it?
No, I did not.
Biggest payout in history.
Yeah, okay. Now that I think about it, I think I did see something about that.
And he's 24.
Yeah, that dude's...
Mostly the people that
dude's
win...
not going to work a day again in his life.
No. I mean, he could spend it all.
If he's smart, he'd invest it.
He sounds like he's a smart guy.
Invested in some WWE stock. They just went down like $15 today. So they hit $100 stock.
You buy gold and silver. That never loses value.
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
But yeah, normally people that win this are in their 80s. It seems like.
I know, right? So we're like, what are you going to do with that? You're going to die, pay for your funeral?
Yeah.
That's it? Come on.
It's nice to see a 24-year-old win it.
Yeah, gives us hope, us younger people.
All right, Hunter Bauer.
All right, I think that's all we got for today, guys. So with that being said, that's all I got. So Mikey O, go ahead and take us home.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, at The Average Marks. Oh, did I tell you we shut down the website?
TheAverageMarks.com?
AverageMarks.com's no more.
Why we shut it down?
Man, it wasn't doing anything for us.
Really?
Yeah, people would go to the, I would be looking in the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a bunch of people would click the stories that we had going on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
However, they would only stay on the site to just read that story, and they were gone. The average time on our site was 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Better than 0 minutes and 0 seconds.
I mean, yeah, it is, but
whatever you think, you know, you're the mastermind behind all this.
So it's gone.
Yeah, well, we still got Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah,
Periscope.
we got that free stuff.
Yeah, we stay, and then we'll next week we'll go back to doing some live streaming too.
Yes, I can't wait because we're going to do the inaugural Bang Energy Drink taste test.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I may bring in a few flavors.
Yeah, bring in a few flavors, and we'll taste test a few of them.
Because I think you're going to like it, and I think you're going to want like a whole one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Because I think I might bring the fruit punch and the pina colada one.
Yeah, because you were talking high on that. You know, that
like I really want to bring the rainbow unicorn in, but you said you didn't like Skittles. So I
mean, I'll take a sip of it.
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
I just didn't want you to bring me a whole one, and then me like that's why. Yeah, bring some. We have some cups. We'll taste test them like that. So
yeah.
Just bring one of you. Bring one bring 3 different kinds. Bring one so that way because I'm sure you're gonna because you love the Bang Energy.
I'll down them all.
Yeah, so bring them and we'll put them in a little cup. We'll taste test them and we'll you'll get to see our reactions live. So
love it.
So that'll be fun next week.
All right, we want to thank wrestling promoter and columnist. She writes for thegorillaposition.com.
Yep,
Kim Artlip for coming on the show today. Thank you, ma'am. Patrick.
Oh, I gotta do what I gotta do.
No, just let me know if Hunter tries to steal you.
He's not gonna.
And I'll drive up to Huntsville.
He's not Haynesville.
Wherever it is.
And it's down to Haynesville.
I'll Google map it.
He won't steal me. He'll just share me.
Okay.
If it happens, I don't even know. There's nothing set in stone. He just, he hit me up and said, "Hey, if I get this going, would you want to co-host it with me?"
Yeah.
So, because Bruce Merchant recommended me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Is Bruce going to put it on his radio station?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It seems like it fits, though.
It would, yeah. Bruce would take that. That's why he took us, because we talk about wrestling. We do talk about the local stuff sometimes. That's why Bruce put us on there. And certainly, I think he would definitely put a show like. But then again, I don't know.
You could pimp out Sam Houston on there.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
They're doing good, they're worth talking about.
Heck yeah.
Their baseball team's worth talking about right now. So.
And the softball team.
And the softball team, too, yeah. Well, I don't know if they made it to the semifinals in Sulphur. So. I don't think they did. They might have got eliminated, so. Baseball team's rocking, though.
They're doing that thing. Get us out of here, Patrick!
Outro!
You've been listening to the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast with Michael Leander and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of the Average Marks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. For more information on the show, follow us on Twitter and iTunes. AMP is a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com.